Now for an example of an experiment in chemical kinetics, we are going to know the reaction between sodium thiosulfate and hydrochloric acid. First is to mix the reactants into the conical flask with different measurements and place the conical flask into a white piece of paper with an X mark. Get 5 conical flask and name it A, B, C, D and E. In A you will put 10 milliliters of sodium thiosulfate and 40 milliliters of distilled water, in B 20 milliliters of sodium thiosulfate and 30 milliliters of distilled water, in C 30 milliliters of sodium thiosulfate and 20 milliliters of distilled water, in D 40 milliliters of sodium thiosulfate and 10 milliliters of distilled water, and in E 50 milliliters of sodium thiosulfate. Before the reaction starts, the mark in the white paper is clearly visible at the top of the conical flask. Now place the 10 milliliters hydrochloric acid in each conical flask and shake it a little bit one after another. As the reaction proceeds, you will see that sulfur precipitates, producing an opaque liquid inside each flask, gradually covering the mark placed in the white paper. You, however, have to record the time until the mixture becomes more opaque to know the rate of the reaction in each flask. Remember that when sodium thiosulfate reacts with a dilute acid, hydrochloric acid, it will produce sulfur dioxide, a mixture of sulfur and water, and is a soluble gas that dissolves completely in an aqueous solution. However, in this experiment sulfur dioxide is insoluble, that it looks like a white and yellow precipitate, producing an opaque or colloid mixture. The factors that influence the rate of the reaction are the temperature, concentration or amount of the substance, a catalyst, and the time indicating how fast the reaction did occur. The time that was recorded in each flask were 346 seconds, 182 seconds, 123 seconds, 93 seconds and 75 seconds for flask A, B, C, D and E, respectively.
Created using Powtoon.